Hello everybody. In this video, you'll be learning about arrays in C#. The agenda of my video will be what are arrays, different ways to create an array, methods we can use with arrays, accessing array elements, and changing array elements. So let's get started. What I'll do first is I'm going to create a console application in Visual Studio. Okay, over here I've fired up Visual Studio and I've created a console application. I've called it Arrays in C#. Okay, first of all, let me talk about what are arrays. Basically, we use arrays to store a set of related values inside of one single variable instead of creating many variables for each value. Okay, so let me show you how we can use an array. So I'm going to show you the most common way of how we create an array. So first of all, to create an array, you have to specify the data type, So let's take the example of string. And then you have to type in square brackets. Now your array name. In our example, let's say our array name is friend. Okay, and you have to initialize this to the values that will be present inside of the array. So you have to even put in square brackets and then the values. Okay, so this is a string array, so enclose them in quotation marks. So first friend, let's say Advik, and then I'll even add one more, let's say John, and then a semicolon in the end there. Now this is our string array. Okay, now there are even more different ways of creating an array which I'll show you now. Okay, so here is the first way, and this is the most common way of how we can create an array. Now let me show you the second way of how we can create an array. So over here, let's say new, like here, and then the data type that is used in the array, square brackets. Okay, so this is the second way of creating an array. And inside of here you can optionally specify how much the length of your array is. So we have not specified anything over here. So here there are two values and they're separated by a comma. So internally, C# will consider that this is an array of length 2. Okay, so right now we can even specify that over here, but this will make no difference. But if we say something like 3 over here, then we should get an error. An array initializer of length 3 is expected. So I'll just change that back to 2. Okay, now let me show you the fourth way of creating an array. Okay, so over here I'll just do this like that, and I'll just remove this from here. Okay, just take that out. So over here I'm just creating an array and specifying the size of our array. Now, how do we assign values to our array, you may ask? So over here in the next line, let's say friends or array name, specify the index position over here, and arrays always start indexing from 0. So you have to say 0 over here and then give it a value, right? Of course, give it a value. So my first friend is Advik, for example. Semicolon there, and there was even John, right? So we'll just copy this line just to change that over here 0, set to 1, and the value also changed to John, just like that. So these are the ways of how you can create an array. Now let me show you some methods that we can use with arrays. Over here, let's say console.writeLine, friends, So this is the array name dot length. Okay, this is a property. And now let's run the program by clicking Ctrl plus F5 over there. As you can see, when we run our program, the output is 2. That's because we have 2 values and the length of the array is 2, that is specified over here. Okay, now there are other methods that we can use with arrays that are min, max, and sum. Okay, so in order to show them to you, I'm going to declare an integer array. Let's call this numbers and initialize this to like some random numbers. Okay, let's say 59, 73, 65, 43, or 41, and 18, semicolon. Okay, then over here, instead of printing out the length of friends, we're gonna print out a string over here, min. So first I'm gonna show you the min method that we can use with an array. I just want to show you one more thing before we continue, that all of these methods that are min, max, sum, and I just want to include one more that we're going to be discussing, that is get type. These are all from this system.linQ namespace. Okay, so now as you can see, this is grayed out. That means we don't need this namespace. So when I mouse over, it says using this directive is unnecessary. But over here, let's continue on. Min placeholder 0. That's the placeholder. I'm sorry. And inside of here, what we will type in is numbers. That is the array name dot min. Okay, this is a method like that. Okay, now what this should do is it should print out the smallest value inside of this array. Okay, so it should print out 18 there. Now I'm gonna just click Control D so that it duplicates that line. Now over here, just change this to max, and I just wanted to highlight one more thing here. That is, the using directive using system.linQ is now highlighted. It was first grayed out, now it's highlighted. Okay, over here, let's change this min to max. Okay, this also is a method. And then I'll duplicate this line also over here. Now we will take a look at this sum method. Okay, so sum over here. And instead of max, sum. What this will do is that it should return all. So we have these values inside of this array, and what this should return is it should add all of these values and return that. Okay, and then again duplicate this line and change sum to type. So we'll find out the type of the array. And numbers dot get type, just like that. Now there is method that we can use with arrays, that is sort. I'm not going to show you that now. I'm going to show you that later when we are going to be discussing about accessing elements inside of an array. Okay, so now what we will do is actually run the program. Okay, so Control plus F5 and drag this down. Okay, so it says min is 18, the smallest value, which is correct, and max is 73, which is also correct, and the sum is 256, which must be correct. And type is system.in32, and these square brackets that represent an array. Okay, now we'll just close that up. Now let's talk about accessing elements inside of an array. what I'll do first is I'm going to remove all of these console.python methods just like that. Now what we will do is like print out an element of this array, this integer array, by that index position. Okay, and so in order to do that, let's say numbers square bracket. One more thing that I wanted to say that I've already said about that, arrays always start indexing from 0. Okay, so if here we had typed in 0, then it should print out 59. If we typed 1, then it should print out 73. If we typed 2, it should print out 65, and so on. So over here, let's type in 2. It should print 65, right? And run the program. Okay, yeah, like I said, it's printing out 65. Now close this. Now, if we want to access all of the elements inside of this array, then we can use a for loop. So I'm going to show you how we can do that now. So let's say for int I equals 0, I should be less than this array dot length. So it's length, numbers dot length, and I plus plus. Okay, and now the body of this for loop. So this console.python method is to be inside of this for loop. So over here, as you can see, we're saying 2, numbers square bracket 2. Instead of that, we can say numbers square bracket I. So now let's run the program again, and it should print out all of these elements that are present inside of the array. So I've just click Control plus F5, and it says 59. I'll just show you that. 59, yes. 73, correct. 65, correct. 41, correct. And 18. So all of them are correct. Now I just want to show you the sort method. Okay. Over here, what I'll do is I'll say array, which is a static class, dot sort. And this is a method. Inside of here, you have to pass in the array name. So in our case, it's numbers. So what this will do is it'll sort all of these values in ascending order, not descending order. Now let's run the program. So it says 18, which is the smallest value inside of this array. 18, and then 41, which is the second smallest. 59, okay, 65, and 73, which is the biggest. So yeah, like that. We can also do the same with this string array over here. What that'll do is it'll sort all of the elements inside of the array in alphabetical order. Okay, I'm not going to show you that. You can try that out on yourself. Now I'm going to talk about how we can change an array element. Over here on the top, before this sort method, let's go ahead and say numbers and then index position of what we want to change. Numbers, let's say we want to change this 18. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the fourth index position. So let's say we want to change this to 10. Okay, now let's run the program. So there will be no 18 inside of this array. As you can see now, 10 is the smallest value. 18 has been removed, and instead of that, it has been replaced by a 10. Okay, now I hope you're clear about, or you have understood about arrays in C#. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, click like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel for more. Goodbye till the next video.